Let's just kind of maybe digress over to just the fundamentals for a second. I probably should have asked you this first and foremost, and then maybe kind of got into the technology later on. But what is your primary lead generation strategy? I mean, do you call FSBOs? Do you call expired listings? Are you a door knocking guy or sphere of influence? Or now you scratch the surface on it briefly about, well, you're talking about the phone's not going to ring, and so prospecting for the most part is the backbone and the lifeblood of your lead generation. And what's your one thing, your Gary Keller one thing?
Yeah, I mean, looking at my lead generation, I much like a lot of realtors, I'm loaded with a bunch of ADD, so you see a shiny thing and you go running after it. I like to mix it up some. I know I've done the grind on FSBOs and expireds and really focused on that, and that's a hard mental battle. And I found that while I'm good at it, it's not necessarily what I want to do, 5 days a week. And you also run out of people to contact, and you can only go so big in the state of Connecticut. There's only so many people doing that kind of stuff. So I've started to really mix it up a little bit. And another great realtor gave me a tip of laying it out where, Mondays are you're contacting people from the open houses from Sunday. Tuesdays are your FSBO days. Wednesdays are your expired days. Thursdays are your, sphere of influence days. Fridays might be a networking day as far as contacting business owners. So kind of breaking it up into that, flow of things of saying, okay, look, I know today's Wednesday, so I'm going to do this, and this is who I'm going to talk to, and I'm not going to be dealing with the angry, expired people that I was dealing with yesterday. I'm going to be dealing with the happy business people that I'm looking to forge business relationships. So it's a different kind of thought process going into it, and keeping me sharp as well, as far as saying, okay, now I've got to brush up on my scripts for talking to that FSBO versus when I'm talking to my sphere of influence. Two totally different worlds, two totally different tones of a conversation. So it keeps things interesting for me to break it up like that and lay it out that way and say, okay, yeah, this is my plan of attack for the week, and go about it that way. So a lot of people do things differently. It's just what I found that works for me. And obviously lead generation is so crucial to being proactive in the business, to making more business happen, and that's obviously been part of the success. And when you find that right person that you've met with, that you've done well by, then they start branching it out from there and start singing your praises, and you get those core advocates, which is great. And then the lead gen becomes even easier because you're usually not up against anyone, and it's a matter of, hey, so and so said that you're awesome, and I need to sell my house, so can you do that? Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's tough to get the ball rolling, because it's such an uphill journey in the beginning. But that's a good tip. I've never heard of anyone kind of mention that, where how they kind of they like to spice it up a little bit and say, okay, I'm going to call sphere of influence on Mondays, or whatever the case may be. Your little system that you have there. It's like kind of do whatever turns you on, because you gotta stay motivated, and it can be you can be susceptible to that grind and the burnout, because of all the objections they're hitting you, and it's hard work, and I know that I'm preaching to the choir right now that being a realtor, it's not dollar bills just don't fall out of the sky. You got to really, you got to be hungry, and you got to get them.